Welcome to my channel, Vietnam Era Vet Speaks Out. I want to thank you for for subscribing to my channel, for watching my videos, for writing comments and likes on my videos. I still can't believe how many people are interested in seeing what I have to say. But I appreciate every single one of you that does, and I thank you for sharing my videos on social media. Today, I want to talk about something that irritates me. Yes, I'm going to rant. That's right, I'm going to rant. When did the world go crazy? When was it? What happened that caused the world to go crazy? When did we get to the point where people are arguing that there are an infinite number of genders and that men can have babies? What kind of craziness is this? It's just beyond comprehension. It's so nonsensical that just asking the question makes me wonder, how could we possibly have gotten this far? It's nuts. Look at this. Can men get pregnant? No. How can that possibly be a question that appears in any intelligent conversation? Can men get pregnant? It says it's possible for any individual with a uterus and ovaries to get pregnant. Well, duh. Guess what that is? That's a woman. You might call it a man. It might dress like a man, but that is a woman, plain and simple. If you have a uterus and you have ovaries, you are a female of the species. There's no way to get around that. You can't argue about it. You can argue if you want, but you're wrong. Okay? Look at this. This is CBS News, a reputable, or at least it used to be, a reputable news organization, reporting that a pregnant man has baby number 3. A pregnant man. Talk about cognitive dissonance. Come on. Men cannot get pregnant. And guess what? If you read down in the story, you find out, oh, this man has ovaries and a uterus. In other words, it's not a man. It's a woman masquerading as a man. And now she's had 3 children. But she is still a woman. But you know what? We're not allowed to talk about that, right? Look at this. This is just boggles my mind. It is a Senate hearing. A Senate hearing about transgender and all this crap. Listen to this.
Professor Bridges, you said several times, you've used a phrase, I want to make sure I understand what you mean by it. You've referred to people with a capacity for pregnancy. Would that be women?
Many women, cis women, have the capacity for pregnancy. Many cis women do not have the capacity for pregnancy.
That is a lie. All women have the capacity for pregnancy. They have a uterus. They have fallopian tubes. They have the capacity. They may be injured. They may be screwed up in some way where they're unable to have children, but they do have the capacity.
There are also trans men who are capable of pregnancy, as well as non-binary people who are capable of pregnancy.
Yeah, they're not men. They're not non-binary. They are women pretending to be something that they're not. Plain and simple. But listen to this.
So this isn't really a women's rights issue.
We can recognize that this impacts women while also recognizing that it impacts other groups. Those things are not mutually exclusive, Senator Hawley.
Oh, so your view is that the core of this right then is about what?
So I want to recognize that your line of questioning is transphobic, and it opens up trans people to violence by not recognizing that.
Wow, you're saying that I'm opening up people to violence by asking whether or not women are the folks who can have pregnancies?
So I'm...
Okay, Now, what she's trying to convince you of is that by merely speaking about it, just saying words, you are committing violence. Do you understand what's going on here? They're trying to shut down the conversation. They are saying men can have babies and you're not allowed to disagree. That's what they're saying. Well, guess what? There's some of us that will never agree to that. I will never agree to that. There's no way you're ever going to convince me that a man can have a baby, because men don't have uteruses and they don't have fallopian tubes and they cannot conceive. Period. Women who say they're men can. Women who say they're whatever non-binary is can. That woman, supposed woman in California who's had 3 children, although she's a man, supposedly, still has a uterus. How do you think she got pregnant? She got pregnant because she has the correct plumbing to have babies. You can't get around this. It's ridiculous. There are 2 genders, male and female. All the rest of it is hokum and baloney. And they want us to shut up. They want us to not even speak about it. If we can't agree with their position, we're supposed to remain silent. That's your idea of freedom? Give me a break. You're crazy. You're mentally deranged.
I want to note that 1 out of 5 transgender persons have attempted suicide. So I think it's important
Because of my line of questioning? So we can't talk about it?
Because denying that trans people exist and pretending not to know that they exist
I'm
is
denying that trans people exist by asking you if you're talking about women having pregnancies?
Do you believe that men can get pregnant?
No, I don't think women can get
So you are
pregnant.
denying that trans people exist?
And that leads to violence? Is this how you run your classroom? Are students allowed to question you? Or are
Absolutely.
they also treated like this, where
No,
they're
they're
told
allowed
that they're
to question.
opening up people to violence?
We have a good
by
time in my
questioning?
class. You should join.
Oh, I bet.
You might learn a lot.
Yeah. If you're a parent and you have children that are approaching college age or are in college, you need to pay attention. You need to see who's teaching your children, because some of these people are insane. And some of them are just evil. But either way, your child's not being taught the truth. The truth is that transgender people, whether they are transitioning or not, have a higher suicide rate than, I would call them normal people. They call them cisgender, which is a made-up term which is designed to cause you to comply with their ideology that you can be whatever you want to be sexually, which is completely insane. And the whole purpose behind it is to destroy the family. Destroy the family, you destroy the nation. That's the whole goal. They're never going to admit to that, but that's what the goal is, okay? But trans people commit suicide at a higher rate than normal people do because they have a mental condition. They are conflicted. There's a term for it in psychology. It's called gender dysphoria. Dysphoria. In other words, confusion. Not being sure who you are and what you are. And that can lead to all sorts of bad outcomes, including suicide. But it's not because they're being mistreated, trust me. It's not because people are misgendering them, and it's not because we're willing to discuss this issue. And you're never going to shut us up. So just quit trying. Look at this. I mean, this is the kind of insanity that we've arrived at. A woke University of Pittsburgh professor denies differences in male and female skeletons. Now, you constantly hear the left saying, oh, we need to pay attention to science. Well, are they paying attention to science when it comes to so-called gender ideology? No. Look at this. This is how to determine gender from human skeletal remains. I'm not going to read it to you because you're perfectly capable of reading it yourself. And I'll put the links in the description below so that you'll be able to go visit these pages if you want to. But look at the differences between a male and a female skeleton. Anybody who says you cannot tell the sex of a person from their skeleton is flat-ass lying to you. They're full of baloney. They're either stupid or they have an ideology or an agenda that they're trying to push off on you. And you should push right back and say, you're full of crap. Look at this. Look at all the differences between them. Oh, and wait, there's more. Let's not get to just that. How about the differences in the skulls? Just from a skull alone, you can tell if the remains are male or female. Just from the skull. Okay? So all this crap that they're trying to shove down your throats is just that. It's a load of crap. It's baloney. It's lies. It's evil. And the bottom line is it's designed to destroy our society. That's its purpose. But wait, there's even more. They have discovered that there are genetic differences between men and women, and they're greater than they thought. Look at this. I'll read this to you, even though I know you can read for yourself. In their new paper, the authors Gershoni and Petrovsky, I can't pronounce that name, Piotrowski, looked at how active the same genes are in men and women. They measured the RNA produced by 18,670 genes in 53 different tissues, 45 common to both sexes, in 544 adult post-mortem donors, 357 men, and 157 women. They found that about 1/3 of these genes, more than 6,500, had very different activities in men and women. Some genes were active in men only or women only. Many genes were far more active in one sex or the other. A few of their genes showed sex-biased activity in every tissue of the body. More commonly, the differences were seen in one or a few tissues. So, not only does the skeleton say you are male or female, but the DNA says you're male or female. Your genes say you're male or female. And that's exactly what you are, regardless of what you may think you are, what you may say you are. And if you're one of those people that thinks you're a man when you're actually a woman, you need to get help. And not from the people that are promoting transgenderism and surgeries that destroy your body and chemicals that destroy your insides. You need to get help from somebody who is godly, who can get you on the right path to understand that God made you female, and that's what you are. And if you're a man who thinks he's a woman and wants to play in sports, forget it. We're not going to allow it. We're putting a stop to it all over the country because it's bull. If you just look at the skeletal differences between men and women, you can see why men, regardless of what they claim they are, should never be competing against women. I don't know what else to say. I mean, this is insanity. It is. I'm 76 years old. I never thought I would get to the point in life where I would have to say to somebody, no, men cannot get pregnant. And yet that's where we are. That's how crazy, that's how insane, that's how totally off into left field this world has gone. So you just need to, if you're on the gender ideology side of things, you need to wake up. You're being fed a line of baloney. You're believing a line of baloney. And you're full of baloney. And anybody who has any sense at all, anybody who has two eyeballs, Anybody who can put two and two together knows you're full of baloney. And they may be afraid to tell you that, but I'm not. And I'll tell you right now, you're wrong. You're completely, absolutely, 100% wrong. Your bones tell us that, your genes tell us that, your DNA tells us that, and your brain ought to be telling you that. As always, I pray that you prosper and that everyone that you love prospers with you, that you have good health and that you have a long life. And I pray that you be anxious for nothing, but in all things with prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, make your requests be made known unto God. And the peace that passes all understanding will keep your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. This is the Vietnam Era Vet, out.